Budget talks were supposed to start this morning for the Guam Department of Education, but due to the sexual harassment complaint made against GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez, Senator Narissa Underwood postponed the budget hearing and is requesting that GDOE strengthen its sexual harassment policy. PNC's Rosel Romanes has more in this report.
I asked for a postponement of the budget hearing because I had received reports, very serious reports about allegations of sexual misconduct, allegations of sexual harassment, and at the same time allegations of extortion that against the superintendent.
Education Oversight Chair Senator Narissa Underwood explains that this is the first time a Guam Department of Education superintendent was accused of anything of that nature. In her request to the Vice Speaker's office to postpone the budget hearing, Underwood explains that part of her reasoning is to ensure that the hearing does not interfere with the investigation into the recent allegations against GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez. There was also a mention of a possible acting superintendent.
The role of the department is really to ensure that we, first of all, protect the welfare of our students and employees. And we want to ensure that the integrity of the department, the integrity of the superintendency, which right now is under attack, is actually preserved. And the only way to do that is to allow for the investigation to take its place. The acting superintendent was mentioned because the procedures that we had always used within the department, whenever there is an allegation of misconduct against an employee and alleged by a student, we remove the employee from that environment where the student is at, and we report it to the police department. And then what we also do is we conduct an investigation.
Underwood explains that she does not know how the Guam Education Board wants to proceed with the accusations or if an internal investigation will be launched. Although Underwood says she met with the Guam Education Board Chairwoman Lusa Nicholas earlier this afternoon to request that the department strengthen its sexual harassment policy before the start of the school year. In fact, she asked for a copy of the draft new policy and a timeline for the adoption and implementation of proposed policy by July 13.
There is a draft update to the existing policy on sexual harassment and sexual misconduct, but those are in draft form and they have not gone through the work session. So I had just urged them to expedite that process to ensure that the policy is strengthened.
Underwood hopes that this issue will be resolved.
I certainly feel for the superintendent. I have always expressed my support for his leadership because he has really done a lot for the department. At the same time, we have a responsibility to our employees and to our students. And so whenever there are allegations of this nature, we have to take it seriously. But the accountability is not just for the superintendent, but also the accuser. Because there has to be, they also have to be held accountable. If it's false accusation, then there are penalties for that. That's in law. And so this is not a pleasant issue to address, but it has to be addressed.
Rosel Romanes, PNC News.
Underwood requested to the Vice Speaker's office that the budget hearing be held before July 15th.